life on Turkey Lane. As you can see, we are out here. I am out here. My husband's out here too. You'll see him in a minute. We are out here at the garden. We've got our raised beds filled with soil and compost and all that good stuff. And at the back of the garden here, we have a whole bunch of tires and some different things also filled with soil that we're going to be using until we can build some more beds out here. So we're ready to start doing some planting today, and I thought I would bring you guys along. I'm so excited about this. It's been a couple years in the making. Like I mentioned to you guys before, when I first started doing this, I hurt my back really bad and had almost a year where I couldn't even walk, just about. So we had to put this on the back burner, and then we had issues getting soil delivered and all that stuff. Well, this year is the year, so we're going to start planting some seeds in these beds. I've got them ready, and so yeah, I'm going to bring you along and show you what we're doing. Okay, in these buckets here in the middle, these are about 25-gallon pots, and we're going to plant some potatoes in there. We have some seed potatoes. We have red Pontiac, Kennebec, and Dakota Pearl. So we're going to be doing those in the pots, and he's filling these up in the bottom just a little bit with some soil, and then we're going to put our seed potatoes in and get those in the ground.
Tell me how much you think. Not like that?
A little bit more now. Okay, when you're planting these seed potatoes, you need probably 3 or 4 inches at least in the bottom of your pots. And I should have put my garden gloves on. I got my garden gloves up here, so I'm going to go grab those real quick.
And I'll have to bring that other soil down when it gets closer to time for to add to it. Okay, I'm gonna go grab the food. I'm a little weak in the back, everybody. I've been doing a lot of wheelbarrow and dirt.
Okay, so we're getting some of this soil down here in the pots, and I'm just breaking up any kind of clods or clumps that are in it. Now this is garden soil from Lowe's. We have topsoil up there, like I told you before. For the big raised beds, we mix topsoil in. These are just going to get the garden soil. I've got another bag up in the garage. The one bag that we got for like $1. So we're going to use some of that, but for right now we just need to get the potatoes started in the soil down here, and you just put them in about 4 or 5 inches, 3, 4, or 5 inches of soil, and they do good.
I was trying to pick the side that's got the most eyes up, but they're covered in eyes, so it's kind of like one side looks as good as the other. It's got a whole bunch of eyes pointing up that way. Remember which is red we're going to do.
Okay, so here is the Pontiac red seed potatoes, and we're going to bury the whole potato. And you can see there's eyes all over it. Now you could, if you want more plants, you could just, cut these in pieces where you have 2 or 3 eyes per piece and let them skin over before you plant them. But you really get a better harvest if you just go ahead and plant the whole potato.
Right, I think so.
So we're gonna, which ones do you want this? You want it in the green one?
Either one.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, and I'm just gonna stick the whole potato down in the soil right there. Just sink it down in there a little bit, and then I'm gonna cover it over. Okay, so I've got my potatoes buried down in there, and they're just seed potatoes, and they're buried down in the soil a couple inches deep, and then they're covered up with soil. And as the greens start to come up from them, then we'll add more soil on top. And at the end of the year, after the greens are coming out of the top of the bucket and everything and they're starting to die off, then we can harvest our potatoes. Hopefully we'll get a good harvest off of those. So that was the red Pontiac. Now let's do maybe the Dakota Pearls down here. Okay, and the Dakota Pearl is kind of like a whitish colored potato. This one's got some big eyes on it. So now that's really the only decent size eye I see on that one. But we've got 6 or 7 of those, and we're just going to go ahead and pot those up. We'll have to put soil on top of that one. We'll have to put soil on top of that. Okay, he's going to put some soil on top of those and tuck them in for their growing season.
And they'll be getting a lot more soil down the road.
Okay, and now these are the Kennebecks. Now I've heard from a lot of homesteaders that most of your homesteaders plant the Kennebecks, and these are like a brown potato. I've heard that they get really good harvests off of them and that they like them. So we're going to do a bucket of these.
I got more mulch here.
Okay, so now we're going to put some soil on top of those and get them tucked into bed.
And this is way different than when I was a kid. We always did it on, we didn't do raised beds. We lived in that really rich area.
They did the hill.
We did the mounds, so this is a little different for me, to be honest with you. I mean, we always had good luck. I lived in Illinois where it was a lot of cornfields and stuff. I lived on a farm and we had horses, and our ground was always really rich. And we did a giant garden as a kid, my dad and mom. We did big rows of potatoes and that. They always seemed to do really good, but they were mounded in the earth, not container kind of like. So we just happened to move to a really rocky area. Very poor soil. This part of Missouri is the Ozark Mountains. Yeah, do you remember? This is a Kennebecker.
Yeah.
As I say, do you remember? Yeah. Your husband's memory is not very good.
Might as well just go ahead and finish that bucket on top there.
Well, I can, because it's gonna come down some anyway. It's gonna be, the others got plenty in them. I mean, I could have put a little bit of it in this one here, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, there. It will work. I have faith that this is going to do very well. Definitely by the time it's done, it'll be as big as any mound I've ever planted potatoes in.
Okay, here's your
Pontiac right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, showed you my memory.
And that's the Dakota Pearl down there. Okay.
Now, by the time this goes up, we'll have to move these sticks up. they'll have came up. Maybe later on I need to tape them to the outside.
Okay, now I've got 3 different varieties of summer squash. I've got the black diamond zucchini here, and then I've got like this one is just a packet, I think, from like Dollar Tree, and it's just your little crookneck yellow squash. And then I've got like a yellow zucchini or summer squash there. So we're going to plant 1 tire with
These be wet down
each of these different.
I'm
going to turn you around here. What tires do you want these in, hon?
It doesn't matter, but we need to wet them down some.
Okay, he is going to go up and grab the hose. Okay, so while he's turning the hose system on, we're going to get some of these tires over here sprayed. You can't see them over there. We're going to be planting some squash and zucchini in these couple tires over here. And like I said, I have 3 varieties of summer squash that we're going to be planting in those. And I think we're going to do 2 of the black diamond and probably 2 of the yellow summer squash, these here. And then I may only do about 1 of the crookneck because I'm not a super fan of the crookneck squash. But we'll see.
I don't know if it's going to work, Sheila. Because this is as far as hose goes. I'm going to have to probably go with the other hose.
Oh, yeah, you'll have to get the other hose probably.
Yeah.
Do you have the other hose? Okay, so he's just wetting the top of the soil there so I can get these seeds in the ground. And now these are going to be really easy to plant. Takes about 8 to 10 days to germinate. You sow at 1 inch depth in the ground. The seed spacing is a 1/2 inch, but your row spacing is 4 feet. We're only going to put a couple seeds per pot, and then we'll thin it probably. So, and we're going to be putting a watering system in. And as you can see, I've got lots of little saplings growing up in the fence here that we're going to be chopping down so that we can get the proper amount of sunlight and different things like that. And then we're also going to be mulching the beds and our containers here. That should be okay. I just need the soil to be a little damp. And you don't have to do this. You can dampen the soil after you plant seeds. But they were pretty dry, and so I'm going to go ahead and get some seed down in there. And now these, I don't know exactly how it's going to do. We have topsoil in the tires. Also, we have composted manure in the tires. So I'm just going to plant a couple seeds per tire here. And it's really hard for me to, I know it's going to be hard for you to see down here because the sun's out and I can't hardly see the camera too good. But I think in these 2 buckets back here, we're going to do the Black Beauty zucchini. And I'm probably going to have to take my garden gloves off because I can't deal with the seeds with my garden gloves on. So, but zucchini seeds, now you can go and buy them. Little starts already at like Home Depot and Lowe's and places like that. But zucchini really prefers to be direct sowed, and it's really easy to sow them. So
they grow fast.
They grow fast. And you know what a zucchini seed looks like. So it looks almost like a pumpkin seed. So I'm going to plant
2 or 3.
Just about 2 per tire, about 1 inch deep.
Okay.
And cover them up, and that's pretty much it. Now let me do, and I'm trying to pick the best seeds, the ones that look like they're nice sized. And we're just going to put them in the ground there about 1 inch deep and cover them up, and there you go. We've got those planted. Okay, and I think we're going to do, actually we'll do 2 of the yellow zucchini. It's called summer squash, but it looks more like a zucchini. It's a yellow variety. I do eat quite a bit of zucchini.
I love it. Small
ones when I can get it because I like it fried, but I also like to make my zoodles. So, so I don't mind having, if we get quite a decent harvest, and they look just the same as the other zucchini seed, and I'm going to put 2 per bed. And you just bury them about 1 inch deep.
Did you read up on how long it takes for something like these to germinate?
These say they take 8 to 10 days to germinate. Okay. So not long at all. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and have them wet down this bed right here. And I'll plant a crookneck squash in there. This here is just the crookneck squash, and this is from Dollar Tree. So I'm interested to see. Now it says 99 cents, but you get them for $4 I think. And they look similar to the zucchini seeds, a little bit smaller. And I'm just going to do 2 in this little bucket here. Okay. And like I said, that's not really my favorite squash, so I'm not going to do a whole lot of those. Okay, in this bed right below me, I'm going to be planting some bush beans. And here I've got a trio. I believe this is from, we didn't buy it this year at Hillerman's, but we bought it I think last year at Hillerman's. And there's a bean trio. These are bush type beans, so I won't need a trellis for them. And there's 3 different color beans in here. We have a purple queen and a bright yellow Cherokee wax, and then a blue lake. And these are all like green beans. And so what I'm going to do is put a little furrow. These say that you should plant them about 4 inches apart, 1 inch deep. So I'm just going to put a little furrow in the bed here, just right in there. Just with the end of my little hand rake here. All the way down the bed. And and then I'm going to plant the bean every 4 inches. And you know, the one thing I hate about seed packages is open them up because they never want to come open right. Maybe that's a hint for these seed package designers, because I usually have to end up tearing the label off of them.
I like them when they're in a little plastic container.
And they need it. Now these beans, it's almost like tricolors. Let me come up here and show you. These beans have like tricolored seeds in this packet, and I just tore the label off, but it's called a trio beans. The white ones, I believe, are the yellow. No, actually, yeah, the white seed. The Blue Lake is an heirloom favorite, noted for its excellent flavor and texture, fresh and frozen white seed. So this is the Blue Lake variety. And the yellow wax ones is the black seed, and then the brown seeds are the purple. So I'm just going to plant a row of these every 4 inches apart. I'm just going to start here. We'll do a variety so we have like a rainbow. I guess I didn't need my little board out here. I had Andy put my board out here so I could sit stuff on it, but guessing I don't really need that right now.
You need to slide the board.
Yeah, if you want to move that, thank you. I'm going to get a shorter board to put across these beds so I have a place to kind of sit when I need to come out here and sow some seeds.
Are you doing this whole bed in beans?
No, I'm not. And I'm just going to cover those over. Just fill in those little gaps there. Put these back in my, whoops. Don't want to lose a bean. I'll have a stray plant growing up out here.
Oh, here's one right here.
Yeah, okay.
Jack and the beanstalk.
Okay, now we've got a row of beans planted. That took just a couple of minutes. Okay, and now kind of in the middle of the bed here, I'm going to do a little bit of peas. Now I've got two varieties of peas here. I've got a melting sugar snow pea, and then here I've got a sugar snap pea. So I'm just going to do two varieties, and I don't know if I want to do two whole rows. I could. It don't really matter. And then I think I'm going to plant some bok choy. I don't know if these things grow good together or not. I really didn't do my research when it came to that. But I do know that it's time to start getting these things in the ground. So once again, I'm going to do another furrow just down the bed here. And how about we do the sugar snap peas?
Gotta remember, you gotta mark all these.
Okay. Okay, so peas, you know, you should know what peas look like. They're just like your peas, yet they're wilty looking. So there's your pea seeds. They're fairly big. So you should be able to place these. Says the spacing should be about every 2 inches. I don't know if I'll space them that close, but we're just going to put in a whole row of these and hope for the best here.
That package.
Okay, now we're just going to cover that row up just like we did the beans. Alrighty. Now we got a row of the sugar snap peas. I'm going to put that right there, and you want to give me my bean packet and I'll put it right here. Okay, now we're going to do the snow peas, and once again I'm just going to do a little furrow down the over here, the rows. So I'm just doing a little furrow in the soil here again, and we're going to plant these the same way we did the other pea seeds. And these should look relatively the same as all the other pea seeds, even though these are snow peas. And both of these kind of peas, of course, you know, sugar snap peas and snow peas, you just eat the whole pod.
Do these have to have trellis or anything, or do they?
These might need to be trellised, but we're not going to trellis them right this minute. We'll wait until we get some starts. Now these do look a little bit different. So let me show you the snow pea variety. That's your snow peas. So I'm just going to plant a whole row of those. And again, these are spaced about 2 inches apart. And I've got mine a little farther than 2 inches apart, and that's fine. It's just you can plant them as close to 2 inches. And
hopefully none of this crowds each other out.
So there, we can make sure they get down, stay down in the dirt there. Okay, so here's bok choy, and I've never planted this. The seeds are smaller.
Oh my gosh.
And you plant about 3 seeds per hole, about every quarter inch.
You're gonna fail on that. There's like you'd be like you don't seed the whole garden with them.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to get down here and sit on the edge here a little bit. And I'm just gonna make a little dent there. Okay. Okay. Yeah, these are a little hard to keep a hold of, and I'm just going to squint, just lightly put the soil right over the top of them there.
You did a whole row of those?
Yeah, I think I'm going to do a whole row. Just keep scooting down. And this soil is nice and loose, so we should get a pretty good start here. Okay, let me just put just a little divots in here.
I can't even see those seeds are so small. You're getting 3 in there each one? And they're little. That's where those starter seeds are nice.
Yeah, and hopefully I'm not going too deep, because a 1/4 inch isn't very deep at all, but
Well, they'll make it to the top, most likely.
well, when Sheila's planting anything, these plants got to have a will to survive, because
We got to make sure our gate's closed too. We have a resident groundhog that came in
Yes.
here and dug holes before we planted.
Yes, we do have a groundhog. Oh, you got my sticks and my pin?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. But he looked like a cute fella.
Well, so there we go, guys. We got this whole bed planted. We've got all but 3 of the tires planted down at the back of the garden there. We got to figure out what we want to put in there right now. And there's my handsome hubby, who has done the majority of the work down here so far this year. And I'm really thankful for him. He's a really awesome man, and I love him so much. And I'm thankful that I'm getting to spend my life with him. And so anyway, so we've got a few things planted in here. Next weekend will be right around the 1st of May, which should be our last frost date, but I don't know if we're going to get to planting any of like the tomatoes and peppers next weekend or not. If we do, we're probably going to have to keep them covered, because even though we've had some warm weather during this month of April, this week has turned out to be pretty chilly. And like last night, I had to bring the cucumbers in because we were down to freezing, and I think we're going to be down to freezing again tonight. So this crazy Missouri weather of ours, you never know what you're going to get. You can wear shorts and a coat all in the same day. So, but anyway, I'm thrilled with what we got done so far. I've got a whole bunch of other things I want to show you guys later in a future video. Pray with me that the God of the harvest, our great and almighty God, will bless these seeds and all of our efforts, and that we'll get a good harvest. So, okay, well, before I go, and you know, I'm sitting out here resting after planting those seeds and stuff, and thankful about getting those seeds in the garden. And we're putting water, you know, watering those seeds in, getting that taken care of. But before I go, I want to talk to you about a little barnyard hazard. And this might give you some, you know, if you raise chickens, this might happen to you if you're not careful. This morning we had to come out here, or we were out here earlier today, and noticed our rooster got string wrapped around his little feet, and so we had to capture him this morning very carefully. Andy had to capture him because if you know anything about roosters, they have the claws, spurs on the back of them, and this guy's here I call him McGurk. I've named him McGurk because of the way he crows. Anyway, his name is McGurk, and he has some major spurs on his feet, and so it was very difficult to get those strings off of there, but he had the string wrapped around both of his feet to where he almost couldn't walk. He had just a couple inches of space. So Andy said it must have gotten mixed in with the feed at some point. And, you know, they put the strings on the top of seed bags. And, yeah, we do have to supplement our chickens with food from time to time. And so that must have gotten mixed in with their big bucket of food. And he got that wrapped around his feet and spurs. And so we had to do kind of like a little delicate removal of that this morning. So anyway, just a side note to let you know that if you have some chickens, watch out for that. Keep a close eye on your chickens to see, you know, make sure they don't have any kind of little injuries and different things like that. So anyway, now back to the gardening. So glad that we were able to get the garden planted.
You can tell them I'm going to incubate 90 eggs, and if we have some chicks, I'll let them see them.
We're incubating 90 eggs. Did you hear that, guys? We are incubating 90 eggs. I mean, my goodness.
Get all of them. You'll get probably 60% used.
So we'll show you the little chicks when they hatch. We're wanting to get, we've got some really good girls here, but they're getting older, and this is probably going to be their last productive year. In the egg market probably, so so we're wanting to get a new batch going, and so we're going to incubate some eggs. But I thank you for joining me here at Life on Turkey Lane tonight. I hope you enjoyed this video, watching us get some planting done in the garden and getting some seeds sowed. And so I'm looking forward to this year. I'm looking forward and praying that we get a good harvest and that things go well. So yeah, so thank you for coming along with me tonight. I really do appreciate you guys, and I hope you have a very wonderful and blessed evening, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.